Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomeranz. We are joined today by Ian Parkinson. He is the sheriff for San Luis Obispo County, where we are taping today. And sir, I'd like to speak with you about crime. Crime is always of concern amongst citizens and residents. But if you live in San Luis Obispo County, the statistics look pretty positive when you look at 10-year trends, even trends year to year. What can you tell us, sir?
Well, they are down, and that's a very good thing. That's what we always
Sure.
want. I think the trend, given what's been happening in California, AB 109, Prop 47,
Right.
it's a really good thing to see measurable stats that show that you're going down.
And let's talk about AB 109, which is prison realignment, which has been in place, I guess, almost 3 years. And a lot of the folks that were opposed to AB 109, prison realignment, said that if you release these low-level prisoners, or because those low-level prisoners would be sent to county facilities, which would then need to have them released early. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
That it would cause an increase in crime. But over the last 3 years, we just haven't seen that, at least here in San Luis Obispo County.
No, I would say locally that what people don't really understand is with AB 109, it's the population is serving their sentence at a different location rather than prison, and they're being supervised on the street by a different entity instead of probation.
Right.
So they're still getting the supervision. I think the big impacts with 109 are simply the overcrowding of our jails
Right.
instead
just passing
of
it on.
prison. Exactly.
Right.
But other than that, it's the same.
With Prop 47, though, that's a different question, because Prop 47 is creating a scenario whereby folks are not being charged with felonies for drug possessions and other types of low-level crimes. So is that causing less pressure on your prisons, or jails, I should say?
It is. We're seeing a decline currently in population, I think, across the state.
Right.
However, there's some unintended consequences that we haven't come to realize yet, and that is the fact that these people that are being cited out in the field for felony, used to be felony drug possession, or misdemeanor drug possession now, used to be booked into county jail, and in many cases they might stay through their process because they didn't have the money to bail. Now they're being cited out and they're back on the street. So the question is at what point are they not going to appear, or their cases are going to come to court and they're going to do time? So we're waiting kind of now to see how the whole Prop 47 shakes out.
And at the same time, what I'm wondering is how will that impact crime? Because for better or for worse, we know that folks that are often addicted to drugs will engage in crime to feed their habit. I mean, usually not very serious crimes, I'm making a generalization, but anecdotally, have you seen spikes in the types of crimes that drug addicts would commit to feed their habits?
I think you're seeing in some on the level of theft. But I think, again, it's so early to tell. I mean, you can look at statistics, and particularly crime statistics, and you look at a 10-year trend, and you can say, well, why is it that 10 years ago, prior to 109, prior to 47, we had these large spikes? They're very hard to predict. So I would say crime stats and looking at the effects of Prop 47, it's going to take some time to kind of evaluate. And if we do see that increase in those low-level crimes, then we certainly could focus on, is it being caused by the effects of Prop 47.
I want to ask about one specific area on the crime statistics sheets, and it focuses on aggravated assault. Interestingly, in San Luis Obispo County, in 2013, there was a dramatic spike in aggravated assaults. That spike theoretically dropped in 2014, but still much higher than in levels prior to 2013. Aggravated assault is the only area where San Luis Obispo County is above the national average. Everywhere else, San Luis Obispo County is below the national average. I mean, what can you take away from this, if anything?
You know, it's a tough one, and I guess one of the things that I focus on is nationally. If you look across the country, what is dominating the news? It's aggravated assaults.
Is that true?
Serious assaults. I mean, that's what I'm seeing, and that's what I'm seeing across the state of California, but also nationally. Those seem to be the dominant stories in the news. So to me, maybe we're living in a more violent society, or becoming more violent. How to associate that locally, you know what? It's a tough one.
Is it? We've heard a lot of reports recently about heroin and the scourge of heroin, the increase of heroin. Could it be drug related? I mean, are there folks on heroin that are getting violent? Are you saying that? I don't know. I'm grabbing.
Yeah, in my opinion, it would be less likely under heroin. Methamphetamine, cocaine has made a return to our country. It dropped off for many years, and now it's back. A stimulant such as a methamphetamine or cocaine, I can see causing that. Heroin, not so much. But you never know.
At the same time, I'm wondering if you were surprised by these stats, because again, when we looked at AB 109, there was this sense that if there's any spike in crime, it's probably the thefts, because these lower level offenders engage in that. So was this a shock to you when we didn't see spikes in those types of theft crimes, but we did see spikes in aggravated assaults?
Not necessarily, because I think we need more time. I think there's going to be a period in time that we have a true evaluation period of the effects, particularly the low-level crimes.
I've known you for a long time, and I know that you have worked diligently to try to help your penitentiary inmates make a better life on the other side once they get out. And yet another program you have been focused upon, it's called Honor Farm. Correct. Tell us about it. It's pretty inspiring, if you ask me.
Well, I think you did a good job of summarizing it, and I guess my theory is this: if you're just incarcerating people and you're putting them back on the street and they're returning to nothing, then they're going to commit the same crime. So we need to take the opportunities of with people that are willing to try something new, that are willing to better themselves, give them those opportunities. So we've developed programs, skills within the community and partners in the community, because our time in jail does not end when they get released in the community. It really is, we have to hand them off to the community. We have to have a plan for them. They have to have a plan, we have to have a plan. And that's how we reduce our recidivism rate.
So tell us what these folks are learning as part of this Honor Farm program. I mean, I'm looking at it, I know the answer. The skill seems quite valuable and quite lucrative, if I may say.
Absolutely, and I think probably our most exciting program is our most recent program, and that is our partnership with the local Welders Union and the 403. They have stepped up and taken a big step forward for us, and so they offer a apprenticeship program. We in our first maiden voyage of this, we have 3 inmates that are in custody in our Honor Farm, so they're low level, and actually drive them to the training every day and back to the jail.
It's fantastic. I mean, I can actually feel myself getting emotional thinking about this, because it really is. This is the beginning of a new life for these 3. I mean, there's no doubt, because the biggest challenge I have seen is penitentiaries, whatever word you want to use, they'll adopt these phenomenal programs, and then there are no jobs on the other side.
Absolutely.
But you've created a program whereby there's going to be a job because you're already working with a union.
You're already a union member. So you're already guaranteed, employment. Plus, there's a huge shortage of welders, as they tell me, and so the opportunity is there. And then you mix in inmates with a passion for it and an opportunity to actually earn very good money being a welder. And when you talk to these individuals, you really quickly realize how excited they are for their life.
How did these 3 become part of the program? Do you know?
Well, interesting. So I actually met, one of the union members, and we struck up this conversation. And so it's a partnership. So we have community partners, and them being one of them. They actually sit down and interview these guys. So we ask them to apply, and then we interview for them for a fit.
That's just fantastic.
That's where we're at.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Be very happy and proud. His name is Ian Parkinson. He is the sheriff for San Luis Obispo County. I'm Brett Pomerantz, and you are watching us from San Luis Obispo County on Charter Local Edition.